And now for something completely different.
Hi guys, I've got my two coats on all the wall joins and corners, so they're ready for their first sand. Before I do that, I'm going to make a start on the ceiling joints. There's not as many of these as I first thought. There's only about one or two in most of the bedrooms. Obviously the majority of the joins are out here in the lounge dining kitchen area. There's about 6 down there and another 2 over there. So it's not too bad. In the previous episode, I shared how big a job doing all the gyprock jointing and filling was in the corners, and how it was I was finding it a bit daunting and a little bit overwhelming. And what I had to do with it mentally is what I've had to do with a lot of jobs on the house. So I've had to break it down into small pieces. So instead of thinking in my mind, I've got to do all that joining and all those corners and the cornices and all that, I just broke it down into all its individual parts. And so I just make my focus, I'll do all the horizontal wall joints. And when that was done, I'll do all the wall corners. And when that was done, I'll do all my ceiling joints. And then when that is done, I'll think about the cornices. So while I'm doing the ceiling joints, I'm not worrying about the workload of the cornices. That'll take care of itself. So with these big jobs, particularly when you're doing it all on your own, you've just got to break it down into its individual pieces and just focus on the particular job that you're doing, get through that one, and then worry about the next one. Plastering ceiling joints is exactly the same as doing recessed wall joints. The only difference I've found is it pays to make your mix a bit stiffer, because as you work it, it gets soft and a little bit runny, and you don't want it falling all over the place, even though I've got a fair amount of that happening anyway. The plumber has just been and altered the fittings on this wall for me in the bathroom, so I can now clad it with, because I've bought the spa bath, we needed to move the hot and cold water outlets from there down to there, so they'll be below the bath, and take the flexible hoses that go to the mixer tap that's on the spa bath. And in the shower, I realised if I just had that rose up there, my wife Brenda would have to wear a shower cap all the time. So we're putting in a hand shower here. Had to think about where to put it. I've shortened the width of that shampoo bottle bay so that the flexible hose can hang down there and the shower head can go there. And both of these showers are operated by the one mixer. The button there allows you to select which one. The default position is that the hot and cold water will go to the hand shower, and if you want the rainwater shower up the top, you just press the button and away it goes. So with those plumbing alterations done and the drain put in for the bath, I was able to position that because I know the size of the bath and so forth. Because all that plumbing work's being done, I can now finish cladding this wall in both the bathroom and the bedroom 3. So that's what I'll do right now. I've got the first 2 coats of base coat on, and the next and final coat is the top coat. But before I put the top coat on, I've got to do a light sanding. You can use a sanding block and a piece of sandpaper, or one of these tools with a nylon grid on it. It's a lot of work. There's a lot of sanding to be done. Wouldn't it be great if somebody could make a sander for gyprocking that had a big round pad on it, about that big, so you didn't dig out your joints, had a long handle on it with an adjustable head, so you could not have to do your ceilings like this. You could just stand on the ground and do it from down low. And the other thing would be really nice is if it had a vacuum cleaner on it so the dust didn't get all over you. Something like this. Say hello to my little friend. This is my drywall sanding tool.
Alrighty then.
There's an industrial vacuum cleaner, which I can use later on as a garage workshop vac. It's got a bag in the barrel. I was fairly impressed with that. And it's got this attachment to it, as well as all the normal vacuuming tools, which has an electric motor in there and a swivel head there. And the vacuum hose goes up, sucks the dust out. Look at the size of that pad. What a tool. Remember the red line mantra: if you're doing a job to save yourself time and money, you deserve to buy yourself the tools you need to do it. This little baby only cost me $330 on eBay, and it came with a free tool for moving around sheets of gyprock. Gee, I wish I had that before I finished moving all my sheets of gyprock. Well, I'm going to get to know this tool quite well over the next day or so and start my sanding. Thanks for watching this episode. I'll catch up to you, hopefully, when I've got all of this done and I'm about to put on my top coat. See you then. No dust at all. I love it.
And now for something completely different.